Hi, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Asphalt Aprons, episode 10, if you can believe it. Most podcasts fail by episode 8, I believe, so we're still here, me and Trog, and we thought on this one we'd do a little bit of a recap on the previous 9 episodes in our podcast journey so far.
Yeah.
So, what's your thoughts, Trog? What do you think? What have you enjoyed the most, and what have you disliked?
Well, I was surprised we actually managed to get past episode 3. Never mind getting to episode 10. That, to be honest with you, it's more like, it was a bit daunting right at the beginning than it was, because I don't know about you, but moving into like some podcasts, I do listen to a few podcasts, but to actually taking part in one and doing one, I wasn't really too sure about that.
Yeah.
But the more I looked into it, the more I got involved in it, and especially when you're looking at the material and the content, you're looking at the scripts, you're looking at the questions to where you're going, and you're looking at the different variety of guests that you're bringing in as well.
Yeah.
Because you and I both, we're keen on our bikes, we're keen on our Freemasonry, and it's trying to implement the two, but get that fine balance. I think we've gotten that fine balance and getting feedback from loads of brethren that we're meeting out in the lodges and from non-brethren who are listening to podcasts, bikers or just Mr. Joe Slob, or even the wives as well. I'm getting some good feedback from my wife, and Brenda, your wife, she seems to like it.
Yeah,
as
she
well,
likes
so
it as well. I mean, I know Karen's not a fan of my catfishing posts that we put out there when we're promoting the stuff.
Yeah.
But I think what I enjoy, like you, the setting up, getting it done. Excuse me, looking at what sort of guests we can get and getting a variety, so that it's not always Masonic, it's not always bike. We had Pavel on, who sort of ticks all three because he is a Freemason, he is a Masonic rider, but his heart and passion is his charity and what he does.
I think martial arts is just a hook. It's just a way to get people through the doors. And what you learn actually is that you're a part of a really supportive community. You're a part of something that's beyond the training, beyond being on the mats. There's people that, as you said, people will come and help to rewire the plug, but likely the students will help each other with the next kick, with the next punch, with the next challenge.
Listening to the likes of Doogie, we could have went on for hours.
You'll never stop learning. You'll never stop learning. The drive, I think, is also, it's probably two things. You want this lodge to be as good and as strong as it can, and you want to be part of that. So with me, being part of it ended up, you have to end up being the master and keep it going and keep putting in the effort, because it would be so easy to walk away and close the doors and say, this place is, I've had enough. That would be the last thing I would do.
So
Kicking and screaming. A lot of lodges I've had to fold due to various different reasons. I would say, keep going, never stop, because you never stop learning. But what you do stop is you stop driving. You can't stop driving.
I mean, that was one episode we had to split into two.
Yeah.
But it was interesting. I just think meeting the guests, seeing the scary look on their faces to begin with, and then after a while, them realising, God, you can't shut me up. I'm enjoying this. And I think that's what I've enjoyed, is that the relaxing aspect of it, and meeting people and chatting and listening to the stories has been great. And the two of us working together and doing it has been ideal, because it's not all one-sided. You'll come up with ideas for it, and I'll come up with ideas, and we'll both have that epiphany where we both have the same idea and things like that. I just like the way it's growing. I mean, it's not massive numbers compared to some of the podcasts, but everything has to stand somewhere, and nobody's told us to shut up and get off. It's all been positive.
I haven't had any negative comments whatsoever, to be honest with you. What I do think, though, some of the guests that we've had, like Sir Pavel as well, I think the stories that we got from them is only a small part of the story. I think we could actually get a lot more. I'd like to have Street Bob back on again later on in the year, just to go over some more stuff with him.
He said, you want to go down to this rally? And it was storming the castle.
Right, yeah.
And it was the first ever storm in the castle. He had a Honda CB554, and I had a 200cc PX, the Vespa PX. And the plan was to meet up at the services at the end of the bypass with the Motorcycle Action Group guys from Edinburgh, and we were all heading down en masse.
Doogie as well, because he is involved with a lot of other orders. But then we've just chatted away to Mark McCluskey tonight. So Mark's given us a wee insight into his life, into his Freemasonry past. So, and there's loads of other characters. There's loads of other past masters within the lodge. and even brethren who we could talk to.
There was that camaraderie missing, that sense of belonging, and I found that at 580 quickly.
Joining the lodge will certainly pull up any void you've got in the evening.
I mean, I can relate to it. I mean, that was one of the reasons when I had my inquiry meeting, was because I'd always had an active life, being part of something over the years, and then when I gave up teaching karate and everything, there was a void. I wasn't a part of anything until, you know, Freemasonry came into my life, and now it's everything.
And there's provincial as well.
Yeah.
What's to stop us there?
And I think the thing for the feedback we've been getting from a lot of people is, although they're listening to Masons, what they're actually listening to is human beings, people with stories. So yes, they're a Freemasonry, but they do this, and I never knew they did that, you know. And it's that whole thing of, you know, what is a Freemason, what is a person, what is a Masonic rider, and at the end of the day, you know, I think we said earlier, you mentioned the way back, I think it was probably episode 2 or something like that, about we've had the Grand Master Mason. It's just a person, just a guy, you know. And the whole point about Freemasonry being on the level, and it is, Freemasons are just normal people that have everyday jobs, unless you happen to be retired like yourself, which you constantly remind me about, and things like that. And even when we had Subway and Straubs in about the Masonic riding, it was there's this commonality of, you, as you said before, like-minded people.
We've actually got husbands and wives, boyfriends, girlfriends in our group as well.
Yeah, that's true.
So, you know, it's not just, you know, yes, we have obviously single guy, single woman, etc. in the club, but, you know, we do have partnerships there, you know, male, female. So, you know, that's again inclusive. You know, you can imagine if your husband, boyfriend, whatever, girlfriend, etc., away every Saturday, Sunday on the motorbike. However, you know, you're a fellow biker, you want to go as well. You know, we, under Solomon's guard, didn't allow that, you might get the hump. Whereas, by all means, you know, welcome, you're welcome into the group and come along.
Whether you're a Mason or not, there's a lot of like-mindedness out there. And I've just enjoyed all the different stories and putting it together, and the whole Asphalt and Aprons. And as you say, we'll be out somewhere and just some random will go, I liked your podcast.
Yeah.
You know, and it might be amazing, it might not be amazing. I mean, I've had folk at my networking thing that say, I love your podcast, I listen to it when I'm in the van. When's the next one? Why are you not doing it every week? I mean, remember the stick we were getting when people found out it was Doogie Part 1 and there was going to be a Doogie Part 2.
Yeah.
It was like, well, when is it? And, you know, it's going to be a couple of episodes. And there's only so much we can sort of fit in, because we don't want to make them too long where people think, God, this is taking forever. But
I think we've got that good balance with the time as well, and we're trying to keep it to that 40-minute mark.
Yeah,
which to me, that's more than enough for a podcast. My wife Karen, she came out because we were at Pennycook in the Park on Saturday, so she got the bus out from Edinburgh just to pop out and see us. She only saw us for about half an hour, but on that bus she listened to 2 or 3 episodes of the podcast, so she's kept up well, and she enjoys it as well. So, you know, it's known it's there, and the content, and it's the real people that's there. It's real stories, as what we're keeping saying. We do have the script, some of the stuff to put us into the conversation, get the questions and get the answers coming from the guests and whatnot. But it's real people, real stories, and real questions.
I think the thing, I'm pretty sure if any of our guests, and you can comment on Facebook about this, folks, if you have been, they're a bit nervous to start with, and then they just settle in. And I think Street Bob hit the nail on the head when he says it just sounds like 3 blokes just having a chat, and that's what it'd be. It's honest, it's sincere, it's relaxed, you know, and that is when you get the stories coming out with people and the conversation flows. Yeah, we're 10 in. We've probably got another 16 for the rest of the year because we're doing it every 2 weeks. We've got a lot planned. We want to do things. We want to mix it up, folks. We want to have charities. We have organisations, the bike side of things, whether it's a Masonic riding or whether it's an interview like Street Bob where it's all just about bikes. So if anybody's out there and interested and want to become a guest, let us know. And if we can fit something in and do it, it'd be great. And likewise, when we've said about if you've got events coming up, you know, let us know in advance when it's on and we can promote it.
That would be nice if we would just get a wee bit more input from the listeners as well. It's okay for us, like we can sit and rabbit on for hours and hours, that doesn't matter. The only difference is we've got a couple of drinks in front of us. A good thing.
No, yeah.
Aye.
And I know a few people have asked, and we are on YouTube, but on audio only at the moment. We are working on the process of setting up a camera of some kind so you can actually see our lovely faces.
When do you think we'll actually do that? Because this is going to be episode 10, so hopefully we can have that going by, another 3 episodes?
Yeah, certainly within the next 3 years. It's things like getting the right location where it looks okay, getting the camera set up and the sound and things like, because we are new to this. It's,
Mhm.
none of us have trained how to do a podcast. We are pretty much sitting down with microphones and a phone and working from there, and we will evolve and learn as we go. So if you've got constructive feedback, by all means, let us know. I think my cousin mentioned once he thought the podcast was really good, but just to watch on the mics. And, things like that will evolve. We're not necessarily looking to sit down in a podcast studio that's got everything there, but that would be great. But unfortunately, you've got to work within your means just now. And as we say,
Well,
we're
it is
learning.
kind of rough and ready, but we are getting away with doing what we're doing. And as you're saying, we're both enjoying doing it.
Mhm.
So long may it continue. But that content as well has got to come from the future guests that we have
Yeah.
got lined up. Also with the content as well. We've got to try and keep that content real, but also relevant to the podcast.
Yeah.
So as much as you're talking about the different charities that are involved, that's more on the sort of Masonic side.
Mhm.
But then on the biker side as well, the amount of charity events that the bikers are doing throughout the year as well,
Yeah.
that basically go virtually unnoticed, unmentioned, and undocumented, and there's loads of them, absolutely everywhere.
There's bike groups, Masonic riding groups all over the UK that are doing all sorts of events. We've got our brothers down in Cornwall that are always doing stuff in Wales. Widow's Sons are doing a lot up north, and just if people look for it, they'll see that the biking community in general have always had this misperception of bikers. But you look
Yeah.
at what a lot of bikers will do for charity, and there's things like the Hog Owners Group are out there. There's a Carron Valley.
Carron Valley's probably one of the
There's
biggest in
lots of
Scotland,
bikes.
I think.
You look on Facebook and you'll see someone put out a request saying we've got one that's coming up in a couple of weeks' time. Somebody put out a request for bikers to visit an old biker in a care home.
Yeah.
And guaranteed there'll be a good number of bikes that turn up, and some of them will be Masonic riders, some of them will just be riders.
We saw that with all the clubs that were down at the Scottish Motorcycles.
Come on, everybody. It's me, Donkey, and Trog, and we are at the Scottish Motorcycle Show today. So we'll be wandering about, maybe buying stuff, meeting people. So let's have a wee look around and see what we've got. Cheers. But it was good to go around the bike show and see all the different groups, the road safety guys, Motorcycle Law Scotland, the guys for the Cove were down there as well, which is good. And we popped into the guys for Blood Bikes who were hoping to do a bit more for this year as well. I think that hopefully people have enjoyed the episodes, and they find what we're putting out there is good. Hopefully we can continue to build on that.
Yeah.
If there's lodges out there that want to get involved, give us a shout. If there's motorbike groups out there, we've put some messages out at some of the forums. If you want to come on and talk about bikes and stuff like that, you're more than welcome to approach us. We're trying to make this podcast something for everybody, that you'll find something. We're not necessarily trying to recruit Freemasons, but if you're interested in that, it's great. If you want to find out more about bikes, we can hopefully introduce you to the right people there. So hopefully everything we've done in the previous 9 episodes has been okay. Stuff going forward will be okay. And as you said, people listening to a couple of old duffers like us.
Yeah.
If you keep listening, folks, we'll keep putting the podcast out. So.
Well, it'll be good as well because we've got 17 lodges in Midlothian, so it'd be nice to get some of the people from those lodges, some of the past masters or reigning masters. It'd be nice even the new masters, because we have got, 4 new masters in the province this year? It'd be nice for them to come on in 6 months' time and just give us a wee update on how they're finding their journey going from the warden's chair into the big chair and seeing if it's living up to all the expectations of what they thought it would be.
Yeah.
How they are looking to actually run their lodge. Because we all know that the committees run the lodge, the master's just a figurehead, but the master's got to come in there with new ideas to progress that lodge going forward. So it'd be really nice to get some of them coming in. And even some of the wardens, some of them to come in and give us their views as well, because we know there's far too many people that actually go all the way through the lodge. They get to the warden's chairs and then they get that fever and then they think, oh, this is too much for me, can't handle it, step back for it and never see them again, which is such a shame, because we've seen that a few times up here. The amount of work they put in to get to that seat and then they're scared off going into the chair. It is really heart-rending. It really is.
Yeah. Yeah, there's lots going, and one episode that will be coming, folks, and it'll be a doozy, especially if it's on video as well, is we do hope to invite our other halves, our good ladies, our partners, our wives, not just ours, maybe a couple of past guests will get on as well, so we can get the other perspective of what's it like being, well, I suppose the two options are, look at what's it like to being married to a Freemason, but what's it also like being married to someone that's always out on bikes? What's the pecking order here? So that could be our no holds barred. We'll sit in the corner and just take our medicine one. But keep your eyes out for that, eyes open for when that one happens. But
have you got a bleeping machine?
We've not got a bleeping machine. We can edit with the software. But when as this episode drops, you're going to be away out on the bike, aren't you? So,
yeah. Me and my good lady, we are heading off on partly the NC 500 on the bike. We're heading up to Glencoe, Isle of Skye, Ullapool, Applecross, Tongue. Then we're going over to the Orkney Islands for a few days, and then a couple of stops back on the East Coast, Dingwall and Pitlochry. So we're doing over 13 days. But we're not going to be, it's not going to be on miles. We are doing a couple of night stops at most places. And that's really for me to see a lot more of the west of Scotland, because I haven't really seen a lot of the west coast of Scotland at all.
Mm-hmm.
My good lady as well, to get her on the back of the bike, which she does go on some rides, but she's just not I would say a seasoned biker like myself. So the shorter runs and the longer stops, I think, is going to benefit her.
Yeah.
But I think the biggest challenge that's going to be this is the lack of luggage, to be honest.
Lack of luggage space on the bike,
Yeah. So she's got one pannier and a 30-litre roll bag in the back, and that's it. Like, she's even been phoning around all the hotels to make sure they've got hairdryers. And I said, why are you needing a hairdryer? He said, well, a crash helmet on you. I'm not at night. Okay.
I'm hoping the weather will be great. And I totally understand, what you're saying about taking it in. I mean, a few of us did Ireland last year, and it was great. But we're now wishing we could go back and spend a bit more time at certain bits, because it was very whistle stop, just into a town, overnight stay, and away on to your next one. So I like the fact that yourself and Karen are going to take a bit of time at these locations and enjoy it, because it is a holiday as well.
Well,
it's
that's
not just a bike ride.
Yeah, it's a holiday, and I'm thoroughly looking forward to it. But on the back of that, I'd like to do some of the smaller tours with you and Subway as well, because that's something we've all talked about.
Yeah.
And Ian Lynn, he's obviously
Ian's probably, I mean, I'd use the term road captain, but that's just a term in any respect, because he knows his way all about Scotland. And when it was Ian that was leading us when we went to Ireland, and it was great. As long as you update your sat nav this year, Ian, dig. But even the bits where we did get lost and we thought, we found a nice place. I think that's half the adventure, is finding places that you didn't expect to find and enjoying it. So if we can do a bit more over the coming months, and we're hoping that Trog's going to try and record and report on some of his journey. He might take a picture of a couple of hairdryers just to show that the hotels did have them. For myself, near the end of the month, I'm going down to Ragley Hall, which is Alcester, if I've pronounced that right, outside Birmingham somewhere, which is the Adventure Bike Festival. I've not really done a lot of adventure biking, even though I've got the Triumph Tiger. It's a great weekend. Apparently, someone says it's just like Glastonbury for bikes. There's bars, there's music, there's bikes, there's road trips, there's road trails.
There was something different for you.
It is. It's an adventure. And I'm going down. Treads is going. He's working down there. And do you remember Andrew, who came out with us on the ride one time, had the denim jacket?
Oh, yeah.
On?
Yeah.
He's going down. He's signed up. He's got to sell an adventure bike. So there'll be a few bodies down there. And certainly for the discussions I've had on some of the forums, you're never on your own when you're down there, because it's just a great vibe. And something we've talked about for ages is the like-minded people, the camaraderie. We're all there to have a good time. Really excited to try and see Charlie Borman, who's going to be there, and Richard Hammond for Top Gear.
Yeah.
And they'll be talking all things bike. So summer's going to be a busy time for us. We'll try and report much as we can back on that, and then it'll be back full steam ahead on the podcast going forward. So thanks to everyone that's been listening so far. Please spread the word. Please give us some feedback on what we're doing right, what we're doing wrong, what you'd like to see more of, what you'd like to see less of. Because the podcast isn't all just about me and Trog. It's about something for you guys to listen to and enjoy. And we hope you are doing that. And we thank you for being on the journey with us today.
Yeah. Feedback is very important.
So whatever you're doing, folks, have a good time. If you're riding, enjoy the weather, although it's changed a little bit. Ride safe, and yeah, we'll catch you on the next episode, which will be number 11, and we'll reveal what that's going to be over the next couple of weeks.
Yeah.
So thanks very much, folks, and take care.
Enjoy the summer.